right over here, right? That's good.
Yep.
I love it. Look at all these wonderful people coming in. There's Marcus. Hi, Marcus. How are you doing? We got Mike, Todd, Troy, Luke. I think I've met Luke before. Jared.
Yeah.
Delivery manager. David.
That's great. Let's see.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'll go to this one. Slides a little bit more red. Show off our nice big bright red. Got our new colors, everyone. So if for all of you who are using LG branding, surprise, we're about to come out with a whole new branding kit in the next month. So it'll be amazing. A lot of brighter reds, a lot more fun colors, a little bit of a tie. I love the Life's Good logo on there.
Yeah, that new gray is really pops.
Yeah. Well, do you want to kick us off, or do you want us to wait a few minutes, or how do you guys want to let us go?
No, I'll just go ahead and I'll just go ahead and kick you off real quick. Thank you, everybody, for joining the LG session for delivery and install. I kind of saw a quick preview. I think great information. You're going to learn a lot, and that's it. I'm just going to let the LG team take it. Service rocked it out, and these guys will rock it out too. So go ahead.
Well, it's great to see everyone, and thank you for joining us. My name is Peter Vossler. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and it's great to see you all today. I run our training department at LG Home Appliances in the U.S., and with me is my peer and subject matter expert, Bill Hayden.
Hey, everybody. I'm Bill. I also work at LG. I'm technically in the reverse logistics role because that's just where the returns aspect landed. But I also, with Peter, we work together to do installation training and anything that has to do with returns mitigation. So yeah, a lot of the information you see here today was put together by the two of us collaboratively.
Yeah, we've got kind of a fun agenda today, Bill. We're going to spend a little bit of time. We're going through our welcomes here. And then we're going to talk about one of our tools that we have available for you, which is lghomeinstall.com, which we hope you'll get a kick out of and you'll give us feedback on as we go forward so we can make it better for you. And then we'd like to touch on a couple of our more common questions in LG installations. And I'll explain why we picked those in a second, but some of the laundry specifically around wash tower, refrigeration doors, dishwasher leveling, and then I'd like to give you a little peek into the future if we have some time, but definitely want to make some room for Q&A, right, Bill?
Right, absolutely.
Right. So listen, so first of all, welcome. One of the best things about LG is how we strive in everything we do to make life good. We don't throw innovations out there for the sake of just having innovations. We throw innovations out there that help make our customers' life better. And we consider you as installation teams and you as retailers our customers as well. So we want to make your life good. And there's a lot of things about LG appliances that make installing LG appliances better. There's these little things that we do in all of our little appliances that help make your life easier, help make installations easier. But Bill, here's the thing, even though we do it a little differently to make it better, but you got to know about it, right?
Right, yeah.
And when you don't know about it, it kind of makes installing LG appliances a little harder. So I'll tell you what happened before we get into this LG Home is Bill and I were working together and trying to figure out where can we find one place to find all of our installation tools. And Bill, I think there was, there were videos on YouTube and there were PDFs on LG, and then there was a service site that had some other stuff. And
yeah, it was just what we found is there had been things made by the factory. There was things made by our service team. There was things that we were starting to put together and just randomly on YouTube. So we said, well, where can we put this together so that it's easy to find, especially for a delivery agent. If they're in between stops, somebody can pull out their phone and go to one spot and get to see something. So that's kind of where this all came from. And we launched it about a little over a year ago in the form that you'll see here.
Yeah, and that's what we called it. We called it lghomeinstall.com. And it is, you can see on our site here, it's a mobile ready site. It looks good, and we'll show you what it looks like on a desktop as well. But it allows your installation agent, it allows you to look by product, as you can see here very quickly, and we'll give you a walkthrough in just a moment, but allows you very quickly to find very specific answers on those LG pieces. And Bill, to your point, we wanted that to be able to be found no matter where you were. So if you're sitting in front of a new owner's home and you need to know how to level a refrigerator, we want you to find that information quick. If you're on the ride over there and you're installing a LG dishwasher for the first time, we want you to be able to find that information quickly and have access to it in a way that is good for you to grab. So before I give you a tour, let's go through, Bill, what's on What's on this site? I think first of all, there's a bunch of videos, right?
Right. Yeah. So one thing that you're going to notice is that we're still building the site out. So what we tried to do initially is hit the questions that we were most likely to be getting. Like, you're not going to find how to install a washing machine. Like, we tried to make sure that we weren't insulting anybody. Delivery agents tend to, know what they're doing when it comes to connecting hoses. But then even on the other things, what we did is, like, I've been going through our user manual, and I try to take the dumb out. Like, we know that nobody needs to be told to go turn a hose an extra quarter turn so it doesn't leak. So and there's both videos and PDFs. So we try to just make it really know that we're talking to the proper audience. And hopefully those guys will appreciate it, that we're not, there's not silly minutia in there.
And those videos are made to watch the moment. So they are
Right.
90 seconds, 2 minutes long, nothing that you need to sit and watch for 7 minutes to get a little bit out. We've cut it down to make it easier.
Right.
You've been doing a great job of throwing different PDFs in there. So taking those, as your point out, those things that are a little different.
Right.
And making it easier to find. For example, we've got an example, one of the PDFs you might find. It fits perfectly on a phone. This particular one's in Spanish. We are doing some of them in different languages on how to separate the wash tower, right? And of course, we started adding training videos in there too, right?
Yeah. So, it's based on retailer requests. We've got one up there posted now that we were given a 20-minute session for. We've got a 5-minute training session that we're starting to prepare. And, one of the things that Peter and I can do and we're open to is customizing something. Like, we've even had some people say, what about my new hires? Can you do something like new hire orientation? We absolutely could take a number of the videos, different topics, put them together and make it one, 5, 10, 15, 20-minute session for you.
Sure.
And you can go right to the site and pull it down. I mean, that's what the 20-minute one there is, kind of a little compilation that's like that right now that somebody could use if they wanted to. But if there's ever a request, there's even a section in this website for questions and surveys and requests. So you can always hit us up straight through the site and ask questions if you want.
And that site is lghomeinstall.com. So LG home install, no underscores or spaces.com. And let's give them a brief tour of what that looks like, Bill. So you can get to it on a desktop site. It looks kind of funny because it really looks like a lot of empty space, but it's really designed, as you can see here on the side. I think over on this side over here, you can really see that it looks great on a phone. It's really meant to control. You've done a great job, Bill. Control it on a mobile-friendly device just with a thumb, so I can quickly access that information. And navigating is very easy, right, Bill? So
we tried to make it fast and easy. Like we said, if somebody needs to do this between stops, we don't want them fumbling around. Not that we want the driver to do it, but assuming he's got a helper, in the passenger seat between one stop and the next, they could easily, look something up real quick if they had to.
Well, why don't you walk us through finding something in the laundry section, maybe? So
okay, so if somebody was looking for, as Peter mentioned, I believe this is set up for wash tower. You would just open up the phone, hit laundry, then you would take the next step, go to wash tower, and then you see that there's a couple of things there. There's a video about tips, which is a little bit longer. Then there's one about separation, and then there's a separation PDF. So if they said, oh, well, let's take a quick look at that video, they just click into there, and it's going to redirect you to a YouTube channel. So we've really compiled all of these and redirected them to a YouTube channel, but we don't want them to have to go searching YouTube for them. So and then it would take you to that video and walk you right through the steps for separating a wash tower. Which, before everybody else joined, Peter and I were discussing how it's roughly a 2-minute video and it's practically real time. I mean, I think most delivery agents have probably figured this out, but it's one of those things, as Peter alluded to, it's really cool, it's really easy, but if we didn't tell you about it, you think, oh God, how am I ever getting that watch tower up those stairs? So this is our way of trying to tell you how to do it without having to look for it in the manual.
Spoiler, we're going to show you that in just a second. And listen, if you're like me, you like watching a video and then you like looking at a document. And so not only can you pull up that video, but right underneath there is a separation PDF. And so I can look at that on my phone as well, zoom in, and now I've watched the video, and then I can reference this back to grab a little bit of expertise. These are considered training tools. They don't replace the owner's manual. We always recommend looking at the owner's manual and understanding how that goes. But in the moment, if you need a refresher on how to take out wash tower, and we'll show you how to do that in just a moment, you can do it right from there. Right, Bill?
Yep.
Right.
ready to go.
So I think let's let's talk about what those videos and PDFs look like. So the videos are, as Bill keeps mentioning, they're like 2 minutes long. Some of them are 60 seconds. Some of them might be a little bit longer. But we try to keep them really in the moment, high level, and really making sure that we're not going after like, this is a wrench and this is a screwdriver, but understand that your folks are professionals. They know what it is and they need that information quick. And I think your PDFs follow the same road, right?
Yeah. There's you'll notice. I mean, if you ever took the time to look, we call them one pagers. There's times where it's just too many steps and you have to go to a second page. But there's cases where I've taken 4 or 5, 6 pages of the user's manual and just condensed it down to what these guys need to know. I'm not going to, again, the minutia that they know and understand. They don't need to see pictures or see a video about that part.
And I think really between the video and a one page, you get most of it. If you need more, you can certainly open the owner's manual. A lot of these, I think a lot of these steps take 4 or 5 pages in that owner's manual. And so all of a sudden it's so nice to be able to see it down. Many of these you can get down to 3 steps to do it. So that's what those look like. And we're really exciting. So, and again, it's easy to look at a desktop or a mobile device. Just turn that mobile device portrait and you can see those videos. They all have a closed captioning on it, so you can see it. I hate listening to audio. I'm just not that kind of person. I like to read it. I can read faster than I can listen, and sometimes in the trucks it's hard to as well. But it's not just those videos in the moment, right? There's also training. So Bill, why don't you walk us through how you mentioned that training's in there? Why don't you walk us through how to get to those training tools in there?
Yeah, so there's obviously all the categories there, and as I mentioned, questions and surveys. But then down towards the bottom is some training tools. So if you just clicked into that area, then you would see that right there on the top is that what we call the 7 steps to an install, and it's probably what all your dealers have. It's just the basics of how to make a good customer experience. But that initial one right there is that 20-minute video that we were talking about. And wow, look at
that handsome chap right there. Yeah.
Peter actually does an intro to that, and it takes you, walks you through, the items there. So that's what that 20-minute one is worth, or talking about. So again, if somebody wanted to use that for new hire orientation, to get some new drivers in, this would be kind of a good introduction to the site and walk them through, part of their training session.
And there's a couple of different training sessions in there. This particular one's a little longer because we took a lot of 5-minute videos and put them together and took out the middle piece. But there's a lot. If you go to this training session, I think we got some stuff on ThinkQ there now. We've got some stuff on how to effectively use different tools that are available. So check out those training tools. Again, that if you see up in the top there, lghomeinstall.com, and you can navigate it right through. So I think too, Bill, it's not just training and in the moment tools, but you were mentioning before, if people want to give feedback.
Right.
How would they use? How would they do that, and what might they use that for?
Well, then right there in the questions and requests and surveys section, that's where we'd love to get your feedbacks. Like I said, we're still building this out. We by no means do we have every topic covered. We've hit the ones based on initial feedback from some of our either local or larger retailers who have hit us up first. But we want to hear from everybody. So this is a place where you can ask a question, you can request the training or request a topic that we haven't done yet, or maybe even tell us about a trick or a trip that somebody's picked up on that might make everyone else's life easier. Now, we're going to take that and make sure it passes through service. We're not going to pass anything out there that's going to have in any way void a warranty or give anybody trouble. But just but if somebody's got feedback that they want to share back with us, or they think that something that we put out there is either inaccurate or they found a better way, by all means, let us know.
So real quick, I can go in the moment. I can ask a question, and we'll get back to you. I can recommend something that I've seen that's a good way, or even request a training where we can either put together a video or maybe do a virtual session for a training team. Nice, nice. So there's a couple ways to get there. As I mentioned a couple of times, and I can't hammer this enough, lghomeinstall.com. Check it out. I'll show you how to bookmark that in just a second. You can also get there through our Passport site. Who can see your message? Oh, we just got a little thing. Sorry about that. I got a little confused when something came up on the chat. I'm easily distracted. LGHA Passport's another tool. Now, this is mostly a sales tool. So we've got training and access to our our line logic guides and learning guides, but you can also get to LG Home Install from here. So LGHA Passport or LG Home Appliance Passport.com will take it there, and you'll see the installation tool on there. This is a great site too, because there is a lot of learning guides. There's a lot of other videos and tools on there. So I recommend share this with your sales teams as well.
Yeah, this is the place where you can catch like all of Peter's other endeavors. Because outside of install, this is where he does everything else.
You make it sound like I'm crazy out there doing stuff. I'm pretty crazy out there.
He just has a tremendous amount of stuff on his board.
But you can, if you have never been to Passport, then I don't know if you've ever been to our LGHA guide. I love this one. It's our LG Home Appliance Pocket Guide. It is our catalog. For years we had that spiral bound catalog that was out of date in about 32 seconds. So we have moved everything to a digital site. It looks awesome on your phone, looks awesome on a desktop. You can print spec sheets, you see all your cutouts, everything you need inside of there. But if you open that guide and go to page 3, you'll see Explore Now. So you can actually, there's a number of ways to get to this home install site, right? Yep. LGHomeinstall.com. You can get to it through our LGHA Passport site or even our catalog of site right there. And by the way, if your sales teams need any help with this stuff, just reach out to either of us. We'll be happy to walk them through this. And you can find more information on this through either LG Home Install or LGHA Guide. Coming soon, we have a partner resource app. I'm not going to divulge too much. Maybe you could find a demo version of this in the Google Play Store if you're there under LG Partner Resource app. I don't know. But we are coming out with an app that will have access to all this information right in your pocket as well. So there's a lot of ways to get to LG Home Install, right?
Yep. Yeah, but as Peter mentioned, it is a .com right now, so it's not an app. But I think most people know this, but just to quickly, we'll walk you through how you can make it look like an app, so you don't have to go into your Chrome browser every time and type it in. So just a couple of different ways of getting there, whether you're on, iOS or Android.
If you're using a real phone like me, you can do. I'm just kidding. If you on an iOS device, you can typically tap share, add your home screen. You can rename it, and then it will show up right up on your home page. On a Google device, like an Android device you use,
this one you just have to you have to tap those 3 ellipses up there, and then on your drop down, it should have a little option to add to home screen. And then you hit add, and then it's going to come up and it'll look like an icon and say, homeinstall.com. So this way it's there, you can pull it up on your phone at any time and don't have to open a Chrome browser or Google search and type it in every time. And this way it'll just open it up to that main page that you see on the left there.
Hey, are these bookmark pages on home install? If not, we should put them up there so people have them.
Oh, that's
a good idea.
Good question.
All right. So hey, I'm going to stop there before we carry on and see what questions you all have, because we covered quite a bit in just a short period of time. It's only been about 15 minutes with you so far, and we've already covered an entire wealth and resource of information, from accessing comment, making requests, finding tradings, to bookmarking. But about the stuff that you've seen so far, before we move into some product installation, what questions do you have about what you've seen? You can use the chat. I don't know if the unmute's available, you guys, but please throw in the chat if you have any questions. Bill, anything we missed as they're maybe putting any questions in there?
Well, the only thing that I'll mention is Peter mentioned the ThinQ app. There's not a lot in the ThinQ app yet, but we are working on some things. So I don't have any confirmations back from HQ, but we're talking about a whole section that will be dedicated to installers to help them on the initial setup, basically using the current diagnostics that are there, or if they're running a test cycle for, whether it's a dishwasher, washing machine, dryer, the types of products that will allow for a test cycle, to make it part of the app so that, they can help the customer make that initial connection and just hit a button on the phone, on the app, to start and trigger that test cycle. And this way, yes, it's filling with water. Yes, it's running a cycle. Yes, it's training. Again, this is all tentative. It's coming soon, but I'm being told that it's really likely, because those types of diagnostics are built into the app. We just need to integrate them into the setup and put a new little section in there. So again, it doesn't go into a lot of details with ThinQ at this point, but we are expecting to make that a whole very broad section in the near future.
And ThinQ, well, you mentioned that ThinQ is our smart platform, and it's an amazing tool because it allows you to control and monitor your LG appliances from anywhere. It allows you to care for your appliances. It'll let you know when it's time to do like a tub cleaning, or when it's time to do a easy clean on your oven, or even it'll even let you know, like, if your sump is getting filled for whatever reason on your dryer, or you're not a dryer, on your dishwasher, or if your dryer vent's getting clogged. It will actually text your customers and tell them that, and then give them some steps to correct that. And what because of all those diagnostics that are in there, Bill's working very hard. I think it's going to be so cool when there comes a time when you're as at somebody's home as an installation, you literally the customer can grab their phone, and she can tap a button, and it will say leveled, water lines good, venting good, you're good to go, and you're ready to run and ready to go and have it. So really excited for that.
What we're envisioning, and we hope we can make it work this way, would be like if you're running a diagnostic or an antivirus or something on your computer, and you see it kind of running through, and then little check marks go off, like oh yeah, water running, filling, check, cycles spinning, check, water draining, check. So it'll give both the installer and the customer that that good feeling that, okay, everything's operating the way it's supposed to. Great. Well, but again, I don't want to dwell on it too much, but hopefully that's something good to look forward to.
It's awesome. And if you want more information on ThinQ, grab it at lghapassport.com. In the meantime, there were no questions that came up, so I'm going to move on a little bit, Bill. We want to dig in, I think, a little bit more into talking about laundry, specifically around Wash Tower, right?
Yep.
And Wash Tower has really, I can't think of a product that we've released recently that has really generated as much buzz as Wash Tower. Really taking that idea of stacking and taking space, and really ensuring that you have, I guess the way I like to say it is, your customers can now use their laundry room the way they want to. It's not even, it's about giving them extra space and extra options in a package. It's a powerful package at that. So we'd like to dig into a couple of tips on Wash Tower.
Sure.
And Bill, I think the first one is never laying it on its side, right?
Right. Yeah, that was something that was brought to our attention from HQ very early on, just not to lay it on its side for a couple of reasons, but mainly because even though it's tall and sturdy, it's not built like a refrigerator. It is not one solid continuous chassis, and you'll see in the removal video, it's really only held together by a couple of screws. Yeah. So you don't want it laying down from the standpoint of just the overall, whether it's the tubs rocking around or not, but you also don't want to try to transport it like with two straps in a horizontal position like that as well, because we've seen cases of the actual chassis bending, especially if you grabbed it from the back. You would see from back to front it would start to bend. So the ideal way to move this is as upright as possible, but we obviously that's not going to be very easy to do going up and down stairs, which is why we wanted to make sure everybody's aware about just how easy it is to take it apart, and then it's like installing any other laundry pair.
Well, that was great. That's tip 2, is really walk that path. Think of this thing, like you mentioned, it's like the size of a refrigerator. So unlike a smaller laundry dryer set, you really should take a look at the rooms that you're walking through, the paths you're walking through, and look for things that you might knock over, you might hit, or that might get in your way, and look for stairs. Right. Because going up those stairs, especially if you're in older communities where those stairs are all over the place, it is crazy to get Wash Tower. That's a heavy unit by itself, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So just be sure to walk that path ahead of time. When you're walking that path too, Bill, I always like to tell people to go to that final place. And this is before you're bringing that unit in, right? Before you come to the house, walk that path and get to that final area and look at, make sure you got the right fuel and accessories, right, Bill?
Absolutely, because a lot of times people may be putting the Wash Tower where they used to have a laundry pair. And, obviously you have to take two things into consideration. The water lines and the drain lines for the washer used to be on one side, and the the vent for the dryer used to be on the other side, and they may be choosing one of those sides, but you have to keep into consideration the cord length, the hose length to the drain, and then obviously whatever is going to be needed for the vent. So just something for them to keep in mind, walk the path and look at, before they go in. If the customer says, hey, I really want it on this side, and as their installer gets to know this product, they're going to say, you know what, I'm not going to be able to reach the power cord from that spot over to where where your outlet is on the wall. So we're going to have to put it on this side. Is that going to be a problem before I open it up when we bring it in? So, just trying, the whole idea of all of this stuff is to try to help everybody out, avoid unnecessary damage, returns, and problems, once you get in the home.
And one of the things that I noticed early on with Wash Tower was even model has an electric cord, right? So there's two electric cords that are in there that need to plug in on most electric or on gas models. So one for the washer and one for the dryer. Even when it comes to a electric model, we still have an electric cord for the washing machine.
The washing machine still runs on a 110 line. Yeah.
When you open up that box and you see an electric cord and you're like, oh, you didn't get the wrong one. That's still the right one.
Right.
No need to go back and just make sure that each of those cords is about 4.5 feet long. So to your point, watch where it's going, because one is down towards the bottom. I don't know if you can see my mouse scrolling here, but one is down here on the lower part here, and then the other one is up there. So yes, even though they're 5 feet, you don't really have 5 feet on both sides. You got about 3.5 on one side, about 4 feet on the other side to where those power cords are. And of course, you need, just like any other washer and dryer, you need to make sure you have your accessories with it. And if it's a steam dryer, make sure you've got all the right hoses for it. So
right, yeah. If somebody's got the one with the steam option on the dryer, it'll come with the Y adapter and the short hose to get to your cold water. But then you're gonna have to make sure that they were sold the third, longer hose to connect, both sides.
We've alluded to this a couple times. So there's gonna be times you get to the stairs. And it's like, I'm just not gonna get up those stairs. I remember we had an installation once where somebody had to get it over a counter, and because they wanted to put the wash tower, because they look so nice, they want to put the wash tower in their kitchen or near the kitchen. We had to get it over their breakfast counter, and so there is a way to easily separate this. So I'm going to go over to my YouTube page here, and Bill, let's take a moment to just a minute or so and watch this wash tower separation video.
All right.
Press open the cap covering the screws holding the console and remove them.
Pretty easy so far.
So far.
2 quick screws on the side.
Grab the console on both sides and carefully pull it out. Disconnect both the dryer and washer connectors.
Done. 2 quick connects, done.
Remove the front screws holding the dryer to the washer on both sides.
I was just going to say, those 2 quick connects, they are different, so nobody's going to put them back wrong. They only go back into one spot.
And then just a couple of screws that hold the top to the bottom here.
Yeah.
Remove the 6 screws holding the rear bracket and remove it. Two people should lift the dryer by moving it back out of the bracket and off. Reinstall the wash tower in the reverse order. Separating the wash tower should only be done when servicing is required. This product is not designed to be used separately.
So I hope that came across okay. I know that sometimes our internet can be a little funny. So I hope you all were able to see that. One of the things that they pointed out at the end is, of course, you can't use it separate.
Right.
That is a question we get a lot. What if I don't want to keep it set? Can't use it separately. But I will tell you, Bill, after taking it apart, and you and I've done it a couple of times, it takes minutes to take it apart. Probably just not much longer than that video is.
No, and frankly, anybody that thinks it's going to be complicated, I think I've watched many, ride-alongs, seeing these guys, they know what they're doing. You can take this apart faster than you can take the doors and the drawer out of a French door refrigerator.
Yeah,
I'm certain.
Not even
you do it once or twice, and it'll be done in no time.
Yeah. In fact, we have dealers out there, especially here on the New Jersey area where we are right now, that actually that's their SOP now, is just take it apart, because it's so easy to take apart. The one last thing I want to put, Bill, is just make sure that plastic drum comes out and the shipping bolts are removed. Can you walk us through that quickly?
Sure, and this applies to basically all of our laundry, all of our front load laundry, I should say. That there is that drum support, built into the bottom of the base of the carton. Just a reminder to everybody: make sure you're always aware that that's got make sure it comes out with the rest of the packing and doesn't stay stuck inside, because you might be hearing noises and cause damage. And just want to make sure everybody's cognizant of that's always got to come out. So that's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Also, the thing about the shipping bolts that we put, now obviously we always want to make sure that they're removed. We were told this year, earlier this year, actually late last year, from HQ, that just in general, I've seen a lot of guys are very used to taking units, whether it's a wash tower or standalone washing units, get them off the truck, get them unboxed, and prep them outside before they bring them in. Meaning they take the shipping bolts out, they put the hoses on, they get it all ready to go. put the hoses on, do whatever you want to do. Please do not take the shipping bolts out until you're actually in the home. We were instructed by HQ that, believe it or not, even that short distance between the outside and getting it in, that jostling around could actually do damage to the mechanisms of the drum, that turns. So please, we have a couple of things on in different videos and so forth, but get that message out to all your guys to please leave the shipping bolts in until you're in the home, about to slide it in place, and then pop them out.
Yeah, we use an inverter direct drive motor that's attached right to the tub, and that is very efficient, very quiet. But because of that floating, it's really just a couple of springs that are holding it in place, and without those shipping bolts, it can really damage that unit. So great call up. So that was a tip. Like, don't tip it over. Walk the path ahead of time. Check the install location. Make sure it's going to fit because of that cord. Then separate the top if you need it, and just ensure those pieces are out. Right.
Yep.
I'll take a second here, Bill, before we move on, and see if there are any questions before we move into our last two sessions. We'll take just a second to few minutes to cover.
Absolutely.
I think it's a great point. A lot of the things you heard there are similar to laundry across the LG industry. So take those shipping bolts out. Watch for that little styrofoam carton on the top. That thing can break off. Yep. You can use really just a dolly to lift it up if you need to. Yeah. Those are some really good tips there. And by the way, we did get a question on whether the doors are reversible. Watchtower doors are not reversible. We do have reversible dryer doors in every model except Watchtower. So Watchtower is just meant to be that way. Those doors are not reversible. Right. So I want to talk a little bit about refrigeration, and we mentioned refrigerator when it comes to Watchtower a little bit, but for refrigeration, I think it's just one. I got one slide here on this one, Bill, which is about leveling, and specifically around side by side. We've been seeing a lot of questions on, and these same leveling tips are also for French door. Now, the difference, of course, many of our French doors are a little higher, and if they have a door and door, there's going to be some spacers in it. But there's really two main steps you need to do when leveling side by side, right? So the first one is when you put the side by side down and the doors don't look level. And I don't know if you saw, they put one on in the test in the lobby out here, and the doors don't look level. And the first thing I looked at is, the body of the unit wasn't level.
Right.
And that's the first step. If those doors don't look level on a side by side or even French door, please take a moment, pull out a flathead screwdriver or the included wrench, and just level the feet on those units first, because 99% of the time that's going to level those doors, right?
Yeah, get the left to right leveling of the whole chassis down, and chances are your doors are going to be fine. Very rarely do you have to actually start making adjustments to the doors. So, and it's a lot easier to level the unit by doing that than it is to level the doors. Frankly, it's just in terms of the number of steps. It's just as Peter said, all your guys know how to do it. It's just a matter of just make sure they do that part first.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's just so easy to look at that and go, the door's not level, I'm going to go try to level that door, when really it just leveled the unit. And LG refrigerators should always be they look kind of slightly tipped up, I guess, a little bit. It's just help the doors close a little bit better.
Yeah, always have them, front to back, there's less about being level. It actually should be a little bit raised, elevated in the front. So if they get it done and they give the doors a little push to close, they should close easily. Right. If not, turn both equally, get it up just a little bit so that you get an easy close. That just helps overall. That's good for the whole unit. Make sure that the doors seal well, which is going to give better cooling up functions, better freezer functionality. So that's just the way it should always be done. I'm sure other vendors tell you the same thing.
Right. And then, of course, if the doors still aren't level, it's pretty simple. You just take that, the wrench that comes with it. You can use a small side to loosen that keeper nut, and then just level the door that needs to be leveled, and then make sure to tighten the keeper nut so it doesn't fall out of leveling again. Pretty simple.
Yep.
Pretty easy stuff.
And we've got videos posted for both. We've got them for side by side, and we've got them for French door.
We just got some new ones made, so we'll get some new ones up probably this week, right?
We just got a couple of new ones that show a little bit better detail on a few things, so we'll be doing that as well.
So that's refrigeration. Let's pop over to dishwashers. We're talking about leveling.
Yep.
I love the way we level our dishwashers, because I think that is one of those things that makes your life good when you have to install an LG dishwasher. Not only do we have just amazing technology, all of our dishwashers have stainless steel tubs. They all have leak sensors built outside the tub so that water doesn't come out, and they'll shut off automatically and text you when they go. They all have they're just amazing. Dynamic dry in all of them, or even dynamic heat dry in some of our newest ones. Yep. But the way you level it's unique too, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like we're the only ones to do it this way, but just as a reminder to everybody, we do have the rear adjustable, leveling foot, done right from the front of the unit. So, your standard left and right leveling for the front feet, but just, simple use of a screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver can adjust the rear one. And, a lot of guys might not think, hey, it's not that important. And it's not that again, for the installers, not that you did anything wrong, but we all know that nobody's house is level. I mean, and if a dishwasher is tilting forward, everything might look good in that initial run, and then you might find out a day or two later you're getting a phone call about, hey, it's leaking. Well, it's leaking because it's tilted too far forward. And if when it's running in the cycle, if there's water in the tub that's against the front, that seal is not that type of waterproof to hold pressure against it. So you want to make sure it's level so that the water line is never up against the front door. So it's a simple thing. We try to make it easy to do, but it's an important thing because, again, good customer experience, less reason for them to have to call you back or call service or have an issue.
Yeah. So really quick and easy steps. Obviously, you want to level during each step, but you do the front feet as you said, and then you can use that simple 3-point system, that third screw right in the front and the middle. Give it a little turn. Installs nice and easy. We have some really fun videos on this one too online, so please take a look. So, I mean, really, we are doing our best to make life good when it comes to installation. We've got some cool stuff coming down the line as well. Like I said, you've probably seen the app that our service department has. We'll be coming out with something targeted more towards your retail sales floor folks, as well as delivery and install folks that are out there. And we really want to help your folks that are selling the products know about this too. So share LG Home Install with them as well. And reachlg.com, which is another one. I'm going to keep throwing sites at you, I hope, but reachlg.com is our university. Right now, we don't have a lot of installation stuff, but there's a lot of other great tools on there. And we're talking about adding an installation university on there as well.
Right.
And I guess, Bill, that's it. Do you want to, let's open it up for Q&A and see if there's any questions?
Yeah, if there's any additional questions, and, I think we're coming up on the time slot that we were allotted to keep anybody.
We'll take any question, anything, right? You want to install anything? If we don't have an answer, we'll get you an answer.
Yes.
Great session. Do you offer any LG certified installers? Do you have any program like that at all?
We don't, but we're looking into it. If we want to get more survey, and then we're walking a fine line, because one thing that Peter mentioned in the Reach LG. It's a great site. It's got training sessions on every product that we have. You can, achieve different levels, but you have to go and you have to sign in, and you have to have a password. So we're trying to walk that fine line between, making them have to do that, or how do we know that they're using the site? And, we would love to do something like that, and even offer incentives to hit different levels and become a certified. So more to come on that. We've had the idea. We love the idea. We're just trying to figure out the right way to do it without making it too cumbersome.
Our partner, our brother or sister brand, which is Signature Kitchen Suite, they're working with us closely. So I'm guessing at some point we'll have a certified installer program.
Yeah, this whole website and everything is still relatively new. I mean, so again, we love and want the feedback. Like I said, we didn't hit some of the basic topics, but if somebody says, I really wish you had that basic washer install, that basic dryer install, we can do it. Yep. There's probably videos there. We just didn't, pull them into this yet. But if it's like a, new hire orientation and I really want the basics, send us a message.
Put me on camera. I'll make it. What other? I heard someone else ask some questions. So please ask away.
I'm sure Luke will, if he's got to sell one of these and get it out there, he'd probably toss his guy into this video and say, hey, go ahead and take a look at this before you run this delivery. So, I mean, this is great stuff.
Cool.
Mark?
Peter and Bill, I do have a question, and I may have missed that because I was not in this session earlier. The website that you have for the Life's Good for the information, is that accessible to all delivery and installation techntechnicians?
Absolutely. At lghomeinstall.com. And it is accessible from any mobile device, any desktop device. I don't know if you have a crazy VPN or something else, but generally speaking, I have not found a device that can get on the internet that couldn't get to that site.
Yeah. Great. I've already accessed the internet, that page, and we'll be signing up.
I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and if anybody, if Carmine, if you think anybody's going to want this, we can share this presentation that we're so they
course.
have the installation, the how to bookmark it on your phone, those instructions. If anybody wants that to look through just to make their life easy, that's fine. There's nothing in here that we're not, we don't want to share.
No, we have you have your own landing page on our internal SLN member net. So any information you want to send me, please, I'll put it out there. And we also send out little emails, let people know what's going on and everything. So yeah, we to support the product and our members, we'll do everything we can to get information out. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Well, thank you everyone for your time today and the great questions. If you think of a question that we didn't get to, or you didn't have time to, or like I wish I asked, just go to lghomeinstall.com and click on Ask a Question, and we'll get an answer back for you. So, Carmen, thanks for inviting us. It's been truly our pleasure to present this to you today.
Thank you very much, Peter, and we'll go ahead and just hold on a minute. You had you're okay for until about 5, so just want to make sure that nobody has anything at all.
Yeah, no, we're fine. If there's questions that come up, or ideas that come up, suggestions,
things
would be there to be.
Things people don't like, we'll take it.
Yeah, I think
Peter needs a new haircut. I need a new haircut.
Actually, perfect. Now they're probably all looking at lghomeinstall.com, and I wrote down. So I typed in the lghapassport.com and the lghomeinstall.com, but I didn't. On that one slide that you had the 3 of them. I didn't get the last one in that.
Yeah, so that one is lghaguide.com. So it's lghomeapplianceguide.com. That's a really, like I said, Carmen, that's a really cool site because it's our digital catalog and it looks awesome on a mobile device. You can just swipe back. But here you can see every product that we carry. I'm about to update it next week with our new NPI as well, our newest products coming out. But if you wanted to get, for example, a spec sheet on one of those side-by-side refrigerators that we showed you, you could do that. Our built-in have their cutouts in here. If you need to compare products on the sales floor, you can do that. But everything you need in one place for a guide is right there, right in LG. And you know what? As a delivery agent, if you're out there and you need to, if somebody asks, hey, what does door and door mean? Well, you've got a quick explanation for it right there. What is smart cooling? Yeah, well, here's what it is. What is the warranty information? It's all right here, lghaguide.com.
This is good. In our last session, we were talking about expanding your business, and somebody had said, I forget the account in particular. He was in here, but I think he dropped out. They said they're going to start doing in-home sale, and this is great because a lot of people don't want to leave their home, or there's a lot of different reasons why, but trying to figure out ways to maximize being able to figure out if the space is right for the product that it's going to get. Like some people might not know they have gas fee. They might have a gas dryer or a hot water tank, but they don't have gas over to their range. So, that's why they're thinking about doing this type of service. This is really cool stuff. This is definitely cool.
Yeah, actually, Peter's working on his predecessor created, and we're able to syndicate if anybody wants it for their own sites. What we call the Measure Twice, Order Once tool, and it's an online tool that kind of helps people use, remember what to measure. It's not always just about the final space. As we mentioned in one of the earlier slides. Don't forget about the front door that it's got to fit through, or the hallway that it's got to go down, or the other things too. So. Peter's looking to update this to make sure that it's got full compliance,
ADA compliance,
ADA compliance. But it's up and running now, and he's going to do a refresh on it. But Measure Twice, Order Once. Again, we're trying to. It's all really aimed at good customer experience and not having to make 2 trips out, and not having to have an open box unit in anybody's inventory.
And Carmen, I'm showing you here is the Passport site. This one's really cool because there's a couple of things in here that I think are worth showing out. As I mentioned, you've got under selling tools, and there's those measure guides. We also have accessory guides. So if you've got that customer's like, hey, I want to buy an extra air fryer, great, or I want one of the LG blue broiler pans, you can just go to the cooking accessory guide, and all of that information is actually listed right there by model. What do you need? It's almost like a little checklist of what you need to install something. So if you've got weird installations or need a part, it's all right there. Also what we have on Passport then, I'm going to go back to the homepage, is we actually have a little spot if you need help. So you can actually, right now we've got reps online, and these aren't, this isn't a call center, in the cheapest place we could find a call center. These are our reps who are also out in your stores repping. One day a week, they come in and they man at our phone line. So you can actually click here, you can call, text, or chat with them from anywhere. And that even means if you're out on a delivery site and you have a question, you can grab somebody. They'll actually, what's really a neat idea and what some accounts do, if you have a customer who's got a lot of questions, you can take them right to that link, open up a chat on the customer's phone, and they'll interact with the customer for you, so you can get on to your next visit if that customer has some questions about how to use certain features. So that's right there. We can message them. I won't do it now, but you can message them live and they'll answer for you. Text, they can even video chat. So with that customer, there you go. The chatbot's going, which is trying to find somebody for us, but we can even video chat through that if you do it on your phone. So if that customer is like, hey, how does ProBake work? Well, they'll actually video chat with them and walk them through and show it. And if they need to, they'll get them into one of our showrooms and actually walk them through with a device. So that is a tool that's available, again, right from lghapassport.com. It's really a sales tool, but it can be used on in a customer's home as well.
And that can apply to like the ThinQ app too, whether somebody in the store or the delivery agent or somebody said, oh yeah, if you download that app and you connect to it, you'll get an extra 5 wash cycles that you can't access from the machine. It'll be like, wait, what? It's like, oh yeah, here, chat with this person, they'll fill you in.
Yeah.
We're not expecting them to have to learn it and become a teacher. This way they can get the customer on board, connected to somebody, and then they can go on to the next stop.
Carmine and Bill with our Carmine, I know I asked this because I think you were looking for a wash tower yourself, but with the new 300 series, which is also in our 6700 series of laundry, we have an easy dispense mode. So that's a mode that can do 18 loads of laundry of water softener or detergent, or even up to 32 loads of just detergent. But listen, if you're like me, you're from Minnesota originally, the land of super soft water, up in Detroit Lakes, you need like a thumbnail of detergent to clean your whole laundry. Those easy dispense are kind of rough. So with the ThinQ app, when you log in there, you can actually go further than even the controls will down. So you can really customize that for a really soft water. So those are some really cool tools that are available out there. So yes, go Lakers. He said, well, they kind of left and went to California, but we will still consider them a Minnesota one. So I'm still done forgiving the North Stars for leaving and becoming the Dallas Stars, but.
All right. Well, I kind of left it. You guys covered more, which is perfect. That some of these tools here that you're seeing, and it's been pretty quiet. So
right.
With that, Bill and Peter, gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Love the support. Thank you for supporting our members and nationwide, and continue to grow this relationship.
Well, look forward to hearing from all of you through our lghomeinstall.com. And Bill, thank you for joining me today and being here. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, everyone else. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Take care. We'll see you.
Take care. Bye-bye.